Welcome. My name is Darthelmo, and today I'm going to be taking care of one of probably my most highly requested videos. And this video is being done relatively on the fly, so as you know, recording quality may not be the best, as typically I just use clips to make montages and that kind of thing. But today I'm going to be talking about no-angle surfing, also known as plus strafe. So no-angle surfing is something that's used oftentimes in combat surf and also in other modes to just add a little bit of an element of style to your gameplay. And it does have some practical uses, but that's more rare, and I'll get into those later. So first things first, you're going to open up your console and you're going to want to take care of the bind itself. So you're going to want to pick a key that you can use. It has to be something that you can hold down while you're playing, so I'd recommend it's something close to your left hand and close to your WASD keys. Many people like to use Alt. In my case, I like to use Q. So you're going to type in console bind, and then the key that you wish to use personally. In my case, that's Q. And then you're just going to put plus strafe and hit enter there. And the next thing that you're going to want to do for practicing purposes is you are going to want to boot up a map. So in my case, I'm going to boot up first things first, I am going to boot up Surf Great River Extreme, because I believe that's a pretty good map on which to practice this. Let's do the Trick Surf version. And to boot up the map, you're just going to type map in console and then type whatever surf map suits your fancy. And once you've loaded into the map, you're going to want to make sure that you have all your settings correct. In my case, I'm just going to execute a config that I have preset, but in your case, you may not have that. So the most important commands are SV auto bunny hopping 1, SV enable bunny hopping 1, SV air accelerate 10,000, along with bot kick. Then you're just going to want to do MP warmup start and MP warmup pause timer 1. And that should take care of most of the things for you. If you also want to give yourself no fall damage, you can simply type God in console. And now you'll see I have a little bit of a practice config here that I can use. But in my case, we're trying to do some plus strafe, so let's get right to that. So first, I'm just going to demonstrate plus strafe here on the ground. Normally when you move around in Counter-Strike, your strafing is done by your WASD keys, that is your 4 keys on your keyboard, and then your mouse is used to look around. While you're holding the plus strafe bind, I'm holding Q right now, all of that strafe movement is moved from your left hand and it's modified and applied to your right hand. So when I type WASD here, it sort of takes me out of the plus strafe, whereas if I'm holding it, you'll notice I cannot really move my mouse pointer. Instead, when I have that bind pressed and I move my mouse around, it actually moves my character. And you can see me doing a little figure 8 here on the ground. I can show you what that looks like here. So again, that strafe movement is moved from your left hand to your right hand while you have the bind pressed. And here's what that looks like when you're b-hopping. So I'm just doing circles and figure 8s here. Same idea. Now, one thing that's important to consider is that you have to keep your strafe continuous. And what I mean by that is if you're going forward when you first start pressing the bind in midair, and then you start your circle going backwards or sideways, you're going to lose all your speed, as seen here. So look, I can jump, I hit the bind, I bring my mouse back, and I just stop. So you have to make sure that you're continuous. So while I'm going forward, I'm going to start my circle going forward, or in this case, up with my mouse, as you can see in the camera there. Or alternatively, if you're going sideways, then you go to the side when you first press the bind, just like that. Or backwards. But you just have to make sure that wherever you start that circle, or wherever you start that figure 8, is in the same direction that you're already traveling. And next up, I'm going to do a couple of exercises. The first one here is on Extreme, and I'm just going to do G-spin. So first, let me show you what a G-spin looks like normally. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. And next up, we're going to try to do that with no angle. Now keep in mind I've done this many times before, so it's relatively easy for me. Chances are it won't be as easy for you, and it's going to take multiple tries. But the main thing is just not to get discouraged when you're doing it, because it really is not that complex a trick. And once you understand the theory, and once you understand the bind itself, it's not too hard to get a hold of. And let me see if I can do another quick demonstration here. Simple as pie. So there you go, that's a plus strafe exercise that you can do on Great River Extreme. The next one I'm going to show you is going to be on surf ski. So there are a couple of different exercises you can do on surf ski because there are multiple different boosters that you can use. And generally speaking, when you're first using plus strafe, you're probably going to want to use boosters a lot, as that's something that you can use to keep your speed and keep your circle continuous. So here I can use this ground boost, for example, and just do circles on that. Or I can do circles with the mid boost here. There are a lot of different options that you can have. And there's another boost up here that you can use as well. All the same idea. So now that I've given you these exercises and I've given you the basic logistics and basic understanding of how this plus strafe bind works, I'd like to talk a little bit about the use cases for it. What are the use cases? How can I actually use this in a game? And there are actually a couple. Chances are when you make a circle, you're not turning that tight. If I'm just doing a regular circle at this booster, it tends to be a little wide. And I do have turn binds actually, and even with a plus left or plus right bind, that turns pretty slow. But with a plus strafe bind, with the same sense, your turns tend to be a lot faster, because any modifier of your sensitivity tends to be a little bit less dramatic when you're in plus strafe. Basically, most people, unless they have very, very high or very, very low sensitivity, will have pretty much the same experience using plus strafe and using no angle. So as a result, you can use a lot of tighter turns. The other big benefit for it is that you can keep looking in one spot. If I decide that I'm coming off this booster and I want to shoot someone, I have to fully turn around, I have to expose my back to them. I have to put myself in a position where I can't see the enemy so that I can turn back around and shoot. But in the case of plus strafe, that's not the case. I can just go off the boost, and then I can use my no angle to get back around, my plus strafe bind, and that can be very helpful. So it can be used as an evasion tactic, it can be used as a sort of strategic placement and strategic look method, in addition to just being really damn stylish and pretty fun and pretty cool to do. So let me do a couple of more examples here, just to show you what it looks like with the camera. And you could also learn to combine it with different things and to chain your plus strafes together after a while. But again, pretty much anything is possible with this bind with practice. So here's just a chain, really, really simple. You can pretty much keep doing that indefinitely until you mess up. Nothing too hard there. So there you go. I hope that helps, and that you've learned a little bit about no angle surfing with the plus strafe modifier bind. Have a great day, and if you enjoy videos like these and my other content, be sure to subscribe, and also turn on the notifications with the little notification bell, because apparently subscribing to YouTube channels doesn't actually mean anything anymore, because that's what YouTube decided. So I hope you have a great day.